Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newest edition of Dale Center NASCAR betting here on YouTube. Very interesting weekend. NASCAR is in Mexico. The Viva Mexico 250, I think is what it's called. You have Xfinity Series racing on Saturday with the Cup race on Sunday. I'm super excited. It could be a very chaotic, fun weekend because we have rain in the area. We had a Cup, extended Cup practices on Friday, which is awesome. It's everything you want as a NASCAR bettor. You just don't get this often. I think this data on the bottom of your screen, lap averages, could be very telling on who's going to be competitive on Sunday afternoon. So instead of having odds on the bottom of your screen, which we don't have at the time of me recording, we do not have odds up yet, which I'm not surprised. This typically happens when you get a weird weekend like this. There's not one book that I have seen that has Cup odds available for the Viva Mexico 250. Xfinity odds are still there because you don't have track time until Saturday morning. And we've dropped bets already over on the Dale Club. Subscribe, click the link in the description below. Can't talk right now, probably because I'm partially, I am amputated by the green screen. Basically, I didn't really think about what was going to happen when I wore this Gatorade Darrell Waltrip jacket, Gatorade Racing Team number 88, car number 88. Modern science has taken the green away from this amazing jacket, so you're just going to have to deal with it, and I'm trying to deal with it as well. It's obviously a major tragedy with everything going on in the world. Me not being able to see the green in my Gatorade green and orange jacket is devastating, and I'm sure it is for you as well. But you will see green when you subscribe to dubclub.win, who I've teamed up with for all of 2025 for my NASCAR bets. Up 65.5 units on the year. Took a little bit of a step back from Michigan, thanks to Lane Riggs. We appreciate you, Lane, hitting the wall and fucking that race up. Look, I can blame him. My bets just weren't good enough. Lane Riggs couldn't beat Corey LaJoie at Michigan in the truck race. Couldn't get a top 5. Everybody else died. Either way, it's on me. But still in the green by a good margin. Now in the red, slightly in the Craftsman Truck Series. But no trucks this weekend. We have Xfinity and Cup. On the bottom of your screen, you will see lap average data from the final practice. Now, I know I didn't put the lap times there, but I think the rankings themselves are important enough and could bode very, very critical in who's going to be fast on Sunday and who isn't. Now, a lot can change if the weather's bad. We're expecting rain. If it's not flooding, they will race in the rain. I repeat, they will race in the rain. And NASCAR in the rain is phenomenal, but it is terrifying for bets. It is. And everything over on Dub Club I posted early on Friday, I think is going to be very, very different looking heading into the weekend once we get the reload by all of your sports books whenever you feel like it. NBA Finals is about to start at the time that I'm recording. A lot of baseball on. Netflix Racing had practice. I think they qualify later. Just no priority for the books to get your NASCAR odds back up for the Cup Series. But we're going to talk about the practice data. There are a few drivers and a few teams that stick out to me who I'm thinking about betting on before qualifying and at least before green flag on Sunday. But let's go ahead and start with what we do have. The Chilango, I hope I said that right. The Chilango 150, the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This is, once again, a lot of people are going to call this the race of the weekend. You might have rain on Saturday, make this race chaotic, just like the Cup race. Connor Zilic is a heavy favorite. Won at Coda earlier this year. Craziest thing I've ever seen. He is minus 2,200 for a top 5 on, where was that at? He's minus 1,500 on ESPN Bet. But I saw minus 2,200 for a top 5 somewhere. It may have been Hard Rock or BetMGM. No, BetMGM hadn't had top 5s. Anyway, somebody had that. He's a heavy favorite. You've got several Cup guys in this race. You've got Ty Gibbs, hometown hero Daniel Suarez, Christopher Bell, and Some people are going to view that as, well, this sucks because they're all saturated up towards the top of the board. You can't bet them all. You can only bet on like 2 of them and then not bet anybody else if you want to profit. Or you look at it as an opportunity. And I'm going to view it as an opportunity because it has given us opportunity in other markets outside of just outright potential. Is Connor Zilic going to win this race? Probably. I've already told people that. If I had to pick one, probably going to be Connor Zilic. But you can't count out Ty Gibbs, who was really good in Cup practice today. I think Daniel Suarez, out of all the Cup guys, is easily the most overvalued. I am not high enough on Daniel Suarez. He's in a junior motorsports car. I know it's a hometown race, but you know, what has he done in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the past few years, ever since he's been full-time in Cup with Trackhouse? What has he done in this car? What has he done at this car? In this car at a new track, drives totally different than the Cup car. He's been great on the road courses at times in the Cup Series. But what do we have for Daniel Suarez as a sample size that can indicate that he'll compete with Ty Gibbs, that he'll compete with Connor Zilic? Hell, I mean, you can make that argument with Christopher Bell even. I mean, and Christopher Bell, you know, trending around 8-1 to win the Xfinity Series race. Just to make sure we're clear, we're talking Xfinity here. He is in Sam Hunt Racing equipment, which has not been the most reliable. You can make an argument he could be overpriced. However, with Sam Hunt Racing equipment, that Toyota Supra, we've seen Sage Karam basically a lap away from winning on a road course. And then he ran off the track, and Sam Mayer ended up winning that race. And that was at Road America the last time we went there. So, interesting there. I'm going to look at Sam Mayer in this spot. I love Sam Mayer. I'm higher on some other markets, but real quick, since we're kind of going down the list of the outrights, Sam Mayer is the first, or we'll say the second Xfinity regular on the list in terms of pricing. And I got 16-1 earlier on ESPN Bet. I'm going to scan real quick and see where you can get the best line. 13-1 on BetMGM is good. ESPN Bet, who, my God, that's where I plugged most of my bets earlier. Bless you. Thank you. ESPN Bet, where I plugged most of my bets earlier, is easily the most sensitive sportsbook I've ever seen in when I've placed bets. You know, we talk about a lot in the Discord, which a Discord link is also below in the profile. You can click that, join that for free. Got about 1,500 members, talking NASCAR, talking bullshit, whatever you want to do. Now, when I placed a bunch of bets on ESPN earlier today, on Friday, lines moving instantly. I mean, fucking instantly. And we're talking for like $30 bets, $40 bets. They've also started limiting me since I've used their app a few times. The crazy thing is, I'm not even sure. I don't think I've won a bet on ESPN yet. You know, I've incorporated some ESPN bet stuff into my betting cards over the past few weeks when I've either been out of town, driven through a state where I can use it. And I don't even think we've won a bet yet, and they're limiting me. It's fucking insane. I used ESPN Bet like once or twice last year, maybe. And since I've seen that they have Xfinity Series top 10s, it was an opportunity. I drove to the state line in Louisiana, which is not super far from me, but definitely more of a hike than the casinos. And I placed some bets, and everything moved immediately. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Anywho, best line on Sam Mayer right now, I believe, is BetMGM at 13-1. I'll check Bet Rivers for the Camby books. Just remember what we always talk about, the post-race inspection deal. Also 13-1 there. So take it over on BetMGM if you can. I think he's going to be in contention for the win. Now, the deal with Sam Mayer, he's wreckers and checkers. Wreckers or checkers. He'll come out to these road courses, be blazing fast every time, and in half of those races, he comes back with a clean race car and a good finish. Coda was one of those earlier this year. Now, considering that, I'm probably not going to hit Sam Mayer with a top 3 or top 5. I think the positionals with Sam are a little too risky considering how volatile of a driver he is. Let's take the outright 13-1, feel good about it. I think on speed, on talent, he's going to be in the conversation. Can he finish? Can he not crash? It's another question. We'll see. But 13-1, I'm on it for Sam Mayer. I think you got to look at Austin Hill. He's had enough road course success at Circuit of the Americas and Watkins Glen. You got to take a look at him. I mean, 29-1 on FanDuel. I think he moved to 30-1 somewhere. 30-1 now on BetMGM. You got to take a stab at that. Small bet. You know, another bet that I did not plug, this one that I'm about to say. Top 3, 7-1. Top 3, 7-1. And that is over on ESPN. Now go ahead and take it. I mean, one person is going to bet it for, you know, $3.50, and it's going to move down to 5-1. So one person will get it on it. First person who watches DALESCENTER, congratulations. You'll get that Austin Hill top 3 at 7-1, and then it'll be 5-1 for everybody else. That's a lean. I thought about it. You know, we look at Austin Hill, the capability to run up front and finish races. He's got a great pit crew. He's a pretty good qualifier. He finds himself in position to score a lot of championship points in these type of races. You know, attrition races typically are good for Austin Hill. So I think another guy being undermined in this spot is Austin Hill. 7-1 for a top 3 on ESPN. 5-1 is plus 325. That is also a better price than DraftKings, I believe. They're at plus 275. Yeah. I think Austin Hill, if you don't feel good about all the other stuff that I'm talking about and all the other stuff I said, Austin Hill in the reliability category is probably one of the better guys you could bet on out of everyone that I'm going to give you here for the Xfinity Series race. So I'm on his outright. I'm not turning down 30-1. You get a little bit of a chaos. You get a little bit of excitement. You know how Ty Gibbs is. He's capable of running over anybody, and anyone's capable of running over him. Connor Zilic is not perfect. We've seen him make a lot of mistakes. He made mistakes at COTA. Still won it because he's the most talented road course driver in NASCAR, I think. Maybe outside of Shane Van Gisbergen. But you never know. You get rain in the area. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? I'm not turning down 30-1. 29-1 on FanDuel is what I got. But when I bet that, everywhere else I looked was at 25-1. I'm also going to bet on Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed is like Sam Mayer on mega steroids. He has not won yet, but he's a good road course racer. Good road course racer. And I will not touch a top 3 or top 5 in a million fucking years. I'm being dramatic. Until we see him win and finish races off at a higher capacity. But you give me 30-1, yeah, I'll take a little stab at it. 29-1 on FanDuel's fine. See if there's a 30-1 there. Nope. He's had a little bit of movement. I saw 30-1 earlier. I saw 35-1. Good voice crack. I saw 35-1 earlier in the week for Sheldon Creed. You can get 29-1, 25-1. That's fine. Sprinkled. And then I just can't believe how much these lines moved. I went ahead and bet on Christian Eckes at 85-1 over on FanDuel. That line is still the same. And Austin Green at 240-1. I might be an idiot. I might be crazy. Fuck you, Joey Logano. I think Austin Green could win this race. I think this guy's talent is off the charts. In limited Xfinity Series action, by the way, son of David Green. Remember the Timberwolf car? David Green was a pretty good race car driver in the Busch Series back in the day. But Austin Green has come to several of these road course races outmatched by equipment and run around the top 5. Run around the top 10. I think Austin Green is worth a play in several areas. My issue is the top 10 area. I knew they would do this. 4-1 on Hard Rock. Now 3.5-1 on ESPN. I feel like for a top 10, it's just a little on the pricier side. With all the potential chaos, we saw them have a problem at COTA where they never even had a chance. They had a mechanical issue at COTA. You know, that team, Jordan Anderson Racing, part-time car, not super reliable, and I don't think reliable enough to bet the top 10. I'll bet the top 5, 18-1. That's fine. That's a long shot play. And I'll bet the outright, 240 to 1. What's the top 3 at? What's the top 3? Let's just look at DraftKings. It'll be close enough. Top 3 for Austin Green. Austin Green. Where is he? There he is. 40 to 1? Never mind on DraftKings. Hold on. I guarantee somebody's going to be better than that. Oh my God. Bet Rivers has 22 to 1 top 3. Oh my God. Maybe I was wrong. Hold on. Top 3. Austin Green. Hard Rock. 40 to 1. All right. There you go. 40 to 1. What does Hard Rock have for top 5? Let's see. See, right now, best price for top 5 on Austin Green is over on Hard Rock Bet. 17.5 to 1. Plus 1750. The top 5 on ESPN Bet, I got it 18 to 1. I saw 20 to 1 earlier in the week, by the way. It's now... Oh, it's 11 to 1. People keep betting it. Shit. It was 16 to 1. I swear when I started typing up all my stuff for Dale Center. So yeah, it keeps moving over there. Don't bet that below 16 to 1 on Austin Green. So there's my outrights for you that I have so far. I'm not really big on the outrights. They're all basically small plays. It's just in case of chaos. Sam Ayer, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Christian Eckes, and Austin Green. We'll see what happens after qualifying. But my primary focus here, and Hard Rock Bet is going to be your best option to replicate these. Hard Rock Bet's going to be your best sports book to kind of replicate what I have plugged already, what I'm all in on, because the ESPN Bet and the lines have moved so much, and we'll compare them. We'll take the time to compare them here shortly. But Austin Green, I kind of mentioned him already on it for top 5. I also took Parker Retzlaff for top 5, and some people are probably like, whoa, like he didn't even qualify for the last road course race. That's right. I feel like that was kind of a freak scenario, and that won't happen again. Parker Retzlaff is possibly the most interesting underdog in the entire field this weekend. This guy's resume, and I know it was with a different team on the road courses, he was a top 15 machine. Fuck you, go Logano. He was a top 15 machine in 2024 at the road courses. Like, super consistent. I think if he's got a decent race car, stays out of trouble, he'll be right there in that top 15 category. I went ahead and took his top 5 at 50 to 1. I think that's the best price you're going to get. That's on DraftKings and that's on ESPN Bet. Actually, no, ESPN Bet, it is 28 to 1. Dude, ESPN Bet is so ass. It's so fucking garbage. With all due respect, it's so bad. It's so bad. I could put a $10 bet and a line will move in a heartbeat. $10, move a fucking line. What a fucking joke. With all due respect, I can't reiterate enough. Joke. The only reason I'm using your shit book is for the top 10s. That's it. That's it. Garbage. Respectfully. Anyway, Parker Retzlaff, I think, is an interesting underdog. I think for sure if he doesn't have trouble, he'll be right around the top 15, top 10 range all day. I believe that. Now we can talk about top 10s, because those are the only 2 top 5 bets I have for Xfinity. But when you look at the top 10 market, starts with Alex Labbe. I like the team he's driving for. I feel like Greenlight has been pretty decent in 2025. They've ripped off some good runs with a variety of different drivers like Garrett Smithley, just kind of grinding out top 20s, top 25s. You know, the big thing for me is that they haven't had a lot of DNFs. They haven't had a lot of just random mechanical failures. Remember, Carson Hocevar was in a green light car at COTA and crashed on like lap 1 or lap 2 or something. So, and he had qualified up front in a green light machine. I'm trying to turn my low battery off. Hold on, so my screen doesn't go black. So Alex Labbe, 5 to 1 over on Hard Rock Bet. I got it on ESPN Bet. Guess fucking what? It is now 3.5 to 1. My policy on the top 10s, I'm not betting on any of these guys that I consider big underdogs. I'm not betting 5 to 1. I'm not betting below 5 to 1, excuse me. 5 to 1 is my limit. That's where I got Alex LeBay at. ESPN bet, all this shit has shifted like crazy. So you're kind of in a spot where if you can use Hard Rock Bet, use it. I don't advise betting on any of these guys unless they are 5 to 1 or better. So let's go to Hard Rock Bet. Just keep in mind, it's annoying as shit, but Hard Rock Bet does acknowledge post-race inspection. So I didn't want to have to use Hard Rock, but to find the comparable lines, that's what you're going to have to do. I got Parker Retzlaff at plus 750, 7.5 to 1 over on ESPN Bet. He is 10 to 1 on Hard Rock. I would for sure bet that. Parker Retzlaff, 10 to 1 on Hard Rock. I love that. There's a guy named Ruben Rovello. I think he was in the NASCAR Mexico races earlier today. He is in a Joey Gase car. You know what the equivalent, and with all due respect to Joey Gase, but you know what their equipment is the equivalent to in a street car? Just a regular car on the road. I feel like I've overused this, but I'm being for real. It is the equivalent to a 1999 Dodge Durango with 743,000 miles on it and 3 wheels. And their equipment is priced more expensive than Jeremy Clements, Parker Retzlaff, Jeb Burton, Ryan Sieg, Josh Williams. Okay. Got it. Once again, respectfully, Joey Gase, investing in the sport, but goddamn, they're terrible. And they have a lot of mechanical gremlins. They don't finish a lot of races. They're slower than shit, to put it professionally. So just pointing that out. Parker Retzlaff is 10 to 1 for a top 10. I'd hammer that all day for a unit. Just leave it at that. Hammer it for a unit. Another better end of the discrepancy deal here between Hard Rock Bet and ESPN, what I placed earlier. Thomas Annunziata. This guy has a sports car background. He's driving the number 70 car for Cope Family Racing, which, if that rings a bell, Leland Honeyman has had some good runs this year with that car. They've come to it's a new team with an ECR alliance, which typically ECR alliance doesn't mean much because you have other teams with ECR alliances that are terrible and slow. But this team's been pretty good. This team has been decent enough that if they don't break down, I think Thomas Annunziata, with his good road racing experience, this kid's good. This kid is a good road racer. I truly believe that. If they don't have a catastrophic mechanical issue, 12 to 1 for a top 10 is a good bet. I think this is a guy that, with some chaos, can float around that area. So 12 to 1 for a top 10, Annunziata. I got 10 to 1. So take that over on Hard Rock, because on ESPN Bet, I'm pretty sure it's moved to plus 750, 7.5 to 1. Fucking garbage, respectfully. So I'm on Annunziata, Retzlaff, Alex LeBay. And then back to Greenlight, Josh Bilicki, also at 12 to 1. He is the last driver listed. Guys, just go look at his road course resume in the Xfinity Series. I know he had a few starts for Joe Gibbs Racing, some decent runs, but this guy would bring DGM to the edge of the top 10 in the majority of his starts over the past 4 years. Josh Bilicki is another guy who's underrated on lefts and rights. His best career finishes come at these type of racetracks. Josh Bilicki, 12 to 1. I got 10 to 1. So you can get 12 to 1 on Hard Rock. Worth a shot. They don't have any mechanical issues, which Greenlight has not been super plagued by those, as I kind of mentioned earlier. They don't have any severe mechanical issues, gremlins. Good bet for a top 10. Good sweat for a top 10. So that's the heart of my card. I'm expecting one of these to hit. I really am. I love the top 10s. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. One more time. Alex Labbe, Parker Retzlaff, Josh Bilicki, Thomas Annunziata. 3 of these guys are basically road course guys. Labbe is a big road course guy. We've seen him in the series forever, it seems like, running top 10, top 15 at road courses. Hasn't had a top 10 in a while, but he's had a lot of bad luck. I think this could be the time where the tide turns and he gets a top 10. Retzlaff, I just am a believer of his talent. Good road course resume in 2024. Josh Bilicki, road course guy. Plenty of top 10s and top 15s in the past. Thomas Annunziata, I think he's just an underrated driver with a good background and a pretty good team he's driving for. They are capable of having a good car. So that's what I got for Xfinity. We're going to watch practice. We're going to watch qualifying. And if we have any additions to the Xfinity car, they're going to be close to the green flag because of how this all stacks up. We don't know what markets we're going to get back. It's like the truck series. You don't know if they're going to bring back top 5s. You don't know if DraftKings is even going to upload odds and they pop up with 10 minutes before the green flag. It's not going to be that bad, but you get the point. It's really frustrating. So, if anything, maybe we add a big top 5 play and 2 decently sized outrights to what we have already, because I feel good about it. So now we move on to Cup. I'm going to refresh everything once again to see if we have Cup odds anywhere. By the way, I should have mentioned this earlier. You're probably expecting the Mexico track behind me. Fuck, I forget how they name it. Autodromo, Hernando, Rodriguez, whatever. It's not on iRacing, so instead, I just put the Cup guys at iRacing Super Speedway, which is a really fucking cool fictional track. Fuck you, Joey Logano. Fuck you. Probably already dropped too many F-bombs. YouTube's gonna have a problem with it, but it's alright. Yeah, still no Cup odds. Let me check Canby. Let me check Canby here. Nope, nothing. No Cup odds yet. All right, well, let's talk about practice. Practice was very interesting. Cars did not look tame. You had several incidents. Noah Gragson went to a backup car. Ty Gibbs spun out. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman locking up the brakes. Tyler Reddick was junk, had all sorts of problems. AJ Allmendinger did not like his car. I mean, there was some, and I know I'm missing, Cody Ware spun out. I know I'm missing a few more things that happened in terms of spin outs or incidents, if you will. But the practice data is on your screen, and I think it's very important that we had 2 long practice set. Well, one I think was 50 minutes, the other was 30 minutes, I believe. You can correct me on that in the replies. But 3 teams stick out to me. Joe Gibbs Racing looked really good. RFK I thought looked really good with Chris Buescher in particular, and Trackhouse. I think Trackhouse is just going to have a good day. You know, one tip I'll throw in, I don't know if we're going to get odds or not. Love Trackhouse for the pole. This is just a Trackhouse weekend. You got Daniel Suarez, Chastain, SVG's the favorite. Like, it just feels like a Trackhouse weekend for something cool to happen for that team. I feel like they're going to win the pole. They've gotten the pole before on road courses in the past with Suarez and Chastain. I'm not sure. Did SVG? I don't think SVG's gotten a pole with Trackhouse. Maybe he has, but I don't believe he has. But Suarez and Chastain both have. And Chastain most recently at Watkins Glen last fall. And Toyota, Christopher Bell's the guy I'm looking at. Fast in both practices. 5-lap averages are good. I think Christopher Bell, and we've seen, you know, at COTA, he's been unbelievable. And he was great earlier this year at COTA, won that race. He had the best car. He had the best car at COTA last year, too. Finished second. So when I look at what sticks out to me in Cup practice, I'm eager to see what Christopher Bell opens at. Because I think an outright on Christopher Bell, if we can get like 7-1 or better, worth a unit. I think Christopher Bell is going to be one of the guys to beat on Sunday. You know, Chase Briscoe was good, but he complained about some brake fade in the long run. I feel like Chase Briscoe is just so mistake prone. I feel like he is so mistake prone. He might go out here and qualify on the pole again. But when these long runs happen at these races, he just fucks up. And this is not a track where you're going to be able to fuck up. This is not a track where you're going to be able to make a mistake. One thing that was key in practice, talking about flat spotting the tires, cording the tires. If there's anybody that's going to make that error, it's probably going to be Chase Briscoe. I feel like it's just lap 3 of the race. He's going to lock the brakes up, flat spot a tire, have to pit. And that's going to ruin your race. Well, maybe not on lap 3, but you get the point. But his car is good. Denny Hamlin is replaced by Ryan Truex. I hope the best, wish the best for Ryan. He's a friend. He is the man. I hate that he cut his hair. He had great flow. Ryan Truex. I'm not gonna bet on him though. I'm sure he's gonna be at a good price, where people are gonna say, "Oh, he's in a great car. He's got good experience with the Xfinity series." Martin Truex won the first Mexico race here 20 years ago. I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. This car is just so different, but I hope he runs well. And then Ty Gibbs. You know, I'm going through the Gibbs cars because I think they stuck out as a program. I think Ty Gibbs is a shot to win this race too. I am a believer in momentum, and they had a shot at Michigan. They had a shot at Michigan last week. I think momentum's important. I think when you look at what Ty brings to the table in terms of talent, he's a great underrated road course racer. He just has to not make mistakes. And maybe there's a potential here for them to be peaking at the right time. So Ty Gibbs, you know, I think the books are going to react to practice, because if you look at both practice sessions, like this on the bottom of your screen is referencing final practice. Well, if you look at averages for the first practice and the second practice, Ty Gibbs is there on both of them. Ty Gibbs is there on both of them. And I think they're going to react. I don't know what he was to open the week, 20-ish to 1, 25 to 1. I'm kind of hoping if I can get 15 to 1, maybe I'll plug that as an outright, because I think he does have a legitimate shot to win. I think he's going to qualify well. If he qualifies up in the top 5, he's deadly. He's deadly, and I think he could close at 10 to 1 before Sunday. So I think there's going to be books that probably have him worse than 15 to 1. But that's kind of the price I'm hoping for, and I think makes sense for a guy that's never won before at a brand new track with SVG as a favorite. I think Christopher Bell is going to be a co-favorite. I'm thinking he's going to be in that 6 to 1 to 9 to 1 price. That's going to be my guess. I'm hoping 7 to 1 or better, maybe 8 to 1. I think Ty Gibbs somewhere around 15 to 1, and I think I would take it. You know, unless if it's like, I feel like if it's 10 to 1 or lower, I'm not going to bet it. I just don't think there's enough there. At 10 to 1, I think it's too expensive. 15 to 1, I might. So out of the Gibbs camp, I think Bell and Gibbs are going to contend for the win. Now, if you get some rain, that's another element. Like, can these guys, especially Ty Gibbs, can he keep the fucking wheels on it if it starts raining and you switch to the rain tires? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's another reason to not bet on him if you see him closer to that 10 to 1 range. Talking about Trackhouse. SVG did not really like his car, and he was still kind of good. So I don't think the books are going to react to him much. He's still going to be the odds-on favorite. I'm going to guess 3 to 1 to 5 to 1 range. Am I a little worried about his car? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. And maybe with all the conditions that could impact this race, could be too expensive of a bet. So I'm kind of in the middle on SVG. But his Trackhouse teammates, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, I think it's a too good to be true type of deal for Suarez. I'm not really interested. You know, I think for Suarez, I'd be more interested in betting him to win the pole. I'd be more interested on betting him to win the pole. Maybe not the race. I feel like it's just too good to be true. Ross Chastain out of the Trackhouse camp would be the guy that I'm looking at. Very good in lap averages. Just looked like he was fast. We've seen him win before. Won at COTA 2022. Was really good at Watkins Glen last year. Been good at Sonoma. I think Ross Chastain would be the guy out of the Trackhouse camp to bet on. Now I'm hoping he'll be 12-1 ish. If he's 12-1 or better, I'm on it. But I got no odds to look at. But my guess is that Chastain will reopen up on most books. Typically, what I'm hopeful for doesn't happen. If I'm evaluating the data and I see that Ross Chastain right there, P2 and 5-lap averages, the books are going to take note of that. He's probably going to open up at 9-1 or 10-1. I'm hoping for 12-1, but don't be surprised if Ross Chastain's on the betting card, and don't be surprised if we do get qualifying bets again. I'm probably gonna bet all the Trackhouse guys, Ty Gibbs, and I feel like you need like a Michael McDowell or something. He laid down a good lap in the first practice session, so yeah. For race winning speed, Chastain, I think he's gonna have it. Christopher Bell's gonna have it, and maybe Ty Gibbs out of those guys. And I haven't even gotten to my favorite guy yet. I think Chris Buescher. Let's move to RFK. I've already bet on Ryan Preece, top 5 and top 10. I'll let you guys know what I have, so you have at least something to look at, something to compare to when they reopen. I think RFK with Chris Buescher. I think Buescher's going to be one of the guys to beat. They need to qualify better. You know, they said it on the Amazon Prime broadcast during practice. He's so good at qualifying, like fucking 28th, and at the end of stage 2, he's 4th. Like, he probably had the best car last week in Michigan. Not that has any bit of bearing on this race on Sunday, but I believe in momentum. You know, I believe in momentum. I think you start running better, you start thinking better, and Chris Buescher, who has not, I mean, his last win was on a road course at Watkins Glen. I'm going to call him the American Defense Team. Part of the American Defense Team. That's going to be a parlay that we're going to make at the end. But, you know, he went to Watkins Glen, knocked the Australian or the New Zealand guy out of the way, protected America, won the race. What if he goes to Mexico and does it again? Protects America. Well, okay. Mexico's part of North America. He protects the United States. How about that? He protects the United States of America and wins on Sunday. Chris Buescher, yeah. I think the car is good, the driver's good. They highlighted it enough how he has been the most consistent guy on road courses in the Gen 7 era, which is shocking. You would think it's shocking, but man, he's just found a way to be there at the end, running top 10, running top 5, and being right there competing for wins too. So yeah, I think Chris Buescher, I think the books are they're gonna move him. You know, if he opened at 20-1, he's going to be around 10-1. He's another guy in that 10-1, 12-1 range, 14-1 range. I'd bet that for sure. He is easily, after practice, if I had to rank my top 3 guys after practice on Friday, Buescher, Bell, Chastain would be my top 3 outright additions if I add them to what I already have. I think these practice sessions were super important. I really don't think, like, you see them on your screen, but I'm gonna pull up the first practice, 5 laps, 10 laps. Another guy who was pretty fast is Todd Gilliland. Say goodbye to the value on him. He's one of the bets I already got, so I'll talk about him later. But I think that, you know, SVG, Chastain, Bell, Gibbs, Buescher, maybe a Gilliland, maybe a Chase Elliott and a Kyle Larson. I already think, based off of practice, unless it is a rain fest that flips the race upside down, I think there's like 7 guys that can win this race. SVG and Chastain, Bell and Gibbs. I think Chase Elliott, kind of sneaky. It felt like he showed pretty good long run speed in both practice sessions. Chris Buescher, maybe a guy from front row like Todd Gilliland. I like Zane Smith too. He didn't really have what I hoped he would have in practice based on the data. Maybe Michael McDowell is going to be in the conversation. I think there's 7 or 8 guys that I think are going to win this, that can win this race. based on practice speed. If you get a semi-dry race, I've already narrowed it down. But you never know. Keep an eye on the forecast. There's some good people on Twitter that provide NASCAR weather updates constantly, and will give you an idea of what it's going to look like in terms of rain. Now I'll go and tell you what I already have. Bets that I plugged earlier. A lot of FanDuel Sportsbook. A lot of FanDuel. FanDuel is pretty nice because, look, we have problems with all books. We've had problems with FanDuel because they go against their house rules on post-race inspection. It seems like every single time you have a failure. But they don't react as swiftly to like ESPN and BetMGM. If you put fucking $5 on a bet on ESPN, lines moving. BetMGM, lines moving. FanDuel does not react swiftly. Like, those lines will hold probably longer than any other sportsbook out there, which is what I really like. But I'll tell you what I have. A lot of this is on FanDuel. I took 3 outright bets, small bets. Chase Elliott, AJ Allmendinger, Joey Logano, 11-1, 14-1, and 15-1, respectively. Joey Logano, look, Penske kind of, in the second practice session, Penske kind of popped up there at the end. You just kind of wonder if Austin Cindric's a road course guy. We thought he'd be a lot better, a lot more successful at the road courses once he got to the Cup Series. It really hadn't happened. He's been more of a super speedway guy, which is super interesting. But Joey Logano has a history of running well and winning at inaugural racetracks on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. 50-1, you just never know. 50-1, Joey Logano. And here's what I said on my iRacing stream the other night. Joey Logano has been very hit or miss on the road courses over the years. Mainly miss. But if you're excited about Mexico, like I am, some people on Twitter are like fucking angry. They'd rather be at Richmond. I'm like, dude, are you fucking on crack? You want to be at Richmond? You want to be at Richmond Raceway? The biggest piece of shit on the schedule the last 15 years? Maybe other than Phoenix or Texas. But you'd rather be at Richmond than go somewhere new and cool and fun? This is another argument for another time and another piece of content. But if you're excited about Mexico like I am, I think this is going to be a fantastic race weekend. You take the race weekend away from Richmond, the track sucks. Richmond should just be happy they have one date. Let's just be honest. Richmond should be happy they have one date. Take the other date, get aggressive, go somewhere cool, go somewhere different. Use the opportunity for growth and energy and excitement, and that's what this Mexico deal is going to do, and I hope the race is good. But when I look at the elements of excitement and energy for this weekend's race, there's only one thing that could happen in terms of who could win that would ruin this for everybody. Joey Logano. Lame Gano. Fuck the speed. Fuck the road course resume. I'm telling you, man. Every time you're excited, every time you think something really fun's going to happen, he's the guy that ruins it. He's the guy that ruins it. So, if that's going to happen again, like it's happened multiple times in the past 10 years, starting at Fall Talladega 2015 when he won under caution and beat Dale Jr., still haven't. No, he didn't win. No, wrong. Still haven't recovered from that. If that's going to happen again, I'm going to have my money on him. 50-1. I'd expect maybe a little bit of movement because he popped up down here towards the top 10. They might take a little bit of stock in that. But he's not a big road course guy, so I mean, I'd bet Logano. I think you would still be able to get 40-1 at refresh. I think you'll be able to get 40-1 at refresh. That would be my guess. I'd bet that. If you get 40-1 or better, maybe 35-1, I'd bet Logano. Just for a small, not a big risk. But it's worth having in case he fucks up the entire weekend for everybody. Joey Logano. Those are my 3 outrights that I have. Elliott, Allmendinger, Logano. I feel good about Elliott. I think you'll still have an opportunity to get around 10-1, 11-1 for him. I feel like he's kind of sneaky. If his strategy is not terrible and his pit crew figures it out, and it doesn't ruin everything for him, I think he'll be in the conversation. I think he'll be a top 5 guy. So I think Elliott is worth adding. I expect you can still get him at 10-1 at reload at some book. Top 5, I got Ryan Preece, Todd Gilliland, and Zane Smith. 27-1, 28-1, and 42-1, respectively. If you follow, subscribe on Dub Club, you saw it. Todd Gilliland price is gone. That will never come back. Gone. Ryan Preece, him popping up at the end of practice and the averages and the single lap speed could, I don't think you're going to get 28-1 or 27-1. I think you're going to look at more like 18-1, 16-1. And Zane Smith 42-1 really did not show anything. You might still be able to get a price close to that before qualifying or before a green flag, unless he qualifies really well. So those are the top 5 bets that I have. If you can get 20-1 or better on Preece or Gilliland, I would take it. And if you can get, I think you'll still be able to get 30-1 to 40-1 range on Zane Smith. I would take that too. And then top 10s. Once again, you know, I'm big on the top 10s this weekend. I feel like I just feel like the way they have favorited these road course ringers has given us and for the Xfinity Series sake, the Cup guys dropping down, but I feel like the way they have kind of favorited these guys and elevated them to these really expensive prices has kind of opened up the pricing for other guys. And in the top 10 market, I think is a big time opportunity. I have no idea how much this is going to move. Typically after practice and qualifying, these lines don't get longer. They always shorten up. So I don't know where you're going to find these at. But FanDuel, as usual, is way off from everybody else every single week. So I got Ryan Preece, top 10, 8.5-1. Todd Gilliland, 9-1. Yeah, you're not getting that. Good luck. Zane Smith, 14-1. Maybe there's potential you get something close to that. And I took Ricky Stenhouse, 22-1. Ricky Stenhouse, 22-1, top 10, small play. Guy that just grinds out, finishes, pops up in the top 15, pops up around the top 10. He's not a road course guy, but you never know. You get a lot of chaos. You know, part of a couple of these top 10s are based on the assumption that we might get some rain, might get some chaos that spices this race up. So I think Ryan Preece, Todd Gilliland can and will run around the top 10 or in the top 10 upon speed and talent. Zane Smith, I kind of thought that before. They just did not seem very good in practice. I don't know what was going on with that team. Maybe they've got time to make changes. Maybe they'll get better like their teammate, Todd Gilliland. And then Ricky Stenhouse, I think you're going to need some chaos for a top 10, which is very possible. So that is what I have. In terms of what I would add, you know, I'll repeat. I love Christopher Bell. I love Ross Chastain. And I really, really love Chris Buescher. So I'm kind of hoping those guys open. I'm hoping Bell opens 7-1 or better. I'd bet it immediately. I hope Buescher opens 12-1, maybe 10-1 to 12-1 range. I'd bet that. And Chastain, I'm kind of hoping 12-1 or better to bet that as well. So those are the 3 guys I'm looking at. I think all 3 of them will be plus money for top 5. That's another option if you feel like they're going to run up front all day. Regardless of rain or dry, they'll be there. We've seen Christopher Bell win on rain tires before, just saying. New Hampshire. Not like that has a big impact on this, but it is worth noting that maybe he is more comfortable on this tire than other drivers are. So, I like Chase Elliott still as well. AJ Allmendinger, I'm concerned about. I think you'll be able to find 14-1 or better easily when lines reopen, because he did not like his car in practice. They were not very good they just did not have speed. So that's the one bet that I don't like. And then Joey Logano, I think you can find 50-1, 40-1 range and plug that as a safety net in case he ruins your weekend. Have money on him. So that's what I got. Make sure you are subscribed on Dub Club. The Dale Club has been rocking and rolling for 2025, about halfway through. And we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going through all the uncertainties. We got the in-season challenge with the tournament coming up. Might have some bets on that. Got a rebound on trucks, but Xfinity's been fantastic. Cup has been better. And Subscribe there for $8 a month or $6 a month. I've got 2 different packages you can use. That link is below in my YouTube description. Check out Grid Rival. Use promo code Dale using the link below when you sign up to play the picks game. If you follow me on Twitter, had a big Grid Rival win last week. Turned $75 into $750, 4 plays, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. It's fantasy for racers, fantasy for race fans. It's a very fun product. Use promo code Dale when you sign up using that link on Grid Rival to get a 100% deposit matching bonus up to $100. And then one more sponsor plug. Our friends over at Advanced.gg Premium Performance Supplements. Use promo code Dale at checkout using that link below as well to get your premium performance supplement today. 10% off with promo code Dale when you check out. And we're going to have shakers ready. You're going to see my face on one of these soon. It's going to be fucking sick. Can't wait for that whenever we get that done. But that's what I got. And can't reiterate enough. Subscribe on Dub Club if you want to see the full betting cards, which have, for the most part, been profitable in 2025 and long term since I've been doing this for about 6 or 7 years. So check that out. Check out everything at Dale Tanhart on all social media platforms. Oh, parlay. We have IndyCar. I'm refreshing odds to see if we have anything up yet. Oh, we have odds. We can't end the show yet. SVG 4.5 to 1 on Canby. Bell 7.5 to 1. What did I say? Okay, bet that. Chastain 9 to 1. Gibbs 10 to 1. Elliott still 11 to 1. Busher 11 to 1. Everybody I said that was going to be my favorite is, wow, all right there with SVG. Okay, there you go. Yeah, check those out. We might be making a casino trip tonight. We'll see. Interesting. SVG 4.5 to 1. Wow, I kind of was hoping, you know, close to 5 to 1. Didn't really think they'd bite. I'm gonna pull up a couple other books. BetMGM also has odds up at the time of Chastain 10 to 1, Busher 12 to 1, Elliott 7 to 1. Holy fuck. Okay. Logano 30 to 1. They actually bid on Joey. Holy shit. Okay. 30 to 1 for Joey. Yeah. I was kind of hoping 35 to 1, I'd bet, or better. Todd Gilliland is 30 to 1 to win. And we got 28 to 1 for a top 5. Oh my god, bro. Todd Gilliland is now 30 to 1 to win the race. He's not going to win, but they are going to 29 to 1 on Canby. Holy shit. Okay. All right, let's make a parlay. I got 3 drivers that we're going to talk about here. Let's just use I guess BetMGM. Problem with BetMGM is they don't have top 5s up. Or top 3s for that. Let's use Canby. I'm going to make this on Bet Rivers. This is going to be called the American Defense Parlay. I'm going to take Chris Buescher in the NASCAR Cup Series. Hold on. I'll let you guys see it. Okay. We're going to take Chris Buescher for the Cup race. We're going to take Austin Hill top 3. Now, BetMGM, DraftKings, maybe get a top 3 or top 5. I'm cool with the top 5 as well. And or a Buescher top 3. Just any variation of these 3 drivers. And then we're going to IndyCar. IndyCar's at Gateway. Tune into that race on Sunday night. I love Worldwide Technology Raceway. The people there are fucking awesome. Very smart. The way they've marketed that racetrack, that community's turning into a big racing community out in the St. Louis area. And that's a fun race. So tune into that. IndyCar at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We're going to throw that in our parlays because it's a bajillion times better than fucking Netflix racing in Canada. Joseph Newgarden. Who's going to stop? I mean, Kyle Kirkwood won last time out, but Joseph Newgarden is going to defend against Alex Palou and Scott McLaughlin and Pato. This is the American Defense Parlay. We've already talked about Chris Buescher. Big country. Imagine big country going to Mexico and winning. Top 3. Joseph Newgarden's going to go to St. Louis, and I think he's going to smoke him. He's the best oval driver in the field. He's going to fuck him up. If you did this, a Buescher win, a Hill top 3, and a Newgarden top 3, $50 would win you $7,174. And that's not even like my big priority. Let's go Newgarden win. We'll keep the Hill top 3. Now we're looking at a $50 bet winning 14 grand. Yeah, Buescher, Newgarden, Austin Hill. Big country, Chris Buescher, and Joseph. This is the ultimate American Defense Parlay for your motorsports weekend. I love it. I love it so much. My preference here would be able to get a Chris Buescher top 5, a Hill top 5, and a Newgarden win or top 3. That would be my best preference, my best variation of said parlay. But this has been kind of fun giving the parlays. Not fun watching William Byron blow 11 grand for us, but we've been close enough that people have been asking me. You know, people have been asking more and more parlays, and I'm like, you're just due for pain if you're going to ask me for parlay picks. But they're kind of fun to go over. So it's not like it's not a guarantee that I'm going to play this, but it's for the people. So we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. We had a lot of views last week, a lot of funny comments, a lot of angry people. I mean, yeah, the picks may not have been super good for Michigan, but Lane Riggs fucked us up big time. Denny Hamlin broke our hearts. Honestly, William Byron broke our hearts, but we're going to bounce back like we always do. So I already gave all the sponsor plugs. I already gave all the social media plugs. Thank you guys. Join the Discord if you want to talk more about what we're looking at this weekend. It's always very lively on weekends leading up to Sunday for the green flag of the Viva Mexico 250 at Auto. Fuck, I don't know how to pronounce it. Thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend. And let's rebound, win some money in Mexico.